Where do you want to go?
Oh, I thought
Are
you'd
you
be
Teresa or Teresa?
Teresa.
Teresa.
Can manage it because most people automatically say Teresa.
I feel like I say Teresa.
Good.
But you also don't have an H, do you?
No, there's a whole thing around that. Yeah. Well,
Where do you like to go
talking
normally?
about the hill, we could be doing the hill, or I like going down that little mews, the back.
Yeah, let's start off going that way, yeah.
I've been cycling a lot with my husband Mark in lockdown as exercise. Well, he in particular got quite obsessed by how many muses there are in London.
Yeah.
Central London. And it was his birthday in April, so I found him a book on muses.
Oh,
there
brilliant.
seems to be only this one book, and it was written in the 80s, so it's out of date, but it's taken us all over the place.
That's so great.
It's been great, yes.
The thing that I've been similarly thinking about is what I guess you might call pea shooters or something, where there are those funny little kind of pedestrian routes.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's one in, well, this one here is kind of one at the bottom of Road that takes you through to the stadium kind of thing. There's one in, I think, Lonsdale Square, is it? Just down
yes.
In fact, maybe we could go there, because I heard there's one just in Aberdeen Park as well that takes you...
There's a cut through.
Do you know it? Like a little
I always go to my doctor's that way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Does it go to Highbury New Park?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been through that one.
In the city, where we've cycled quite a few times, there's absolutely loads. They may be a bit different. I think they're passageways, but similar idea.
I love those. The city's amazing for that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You just walk around, there's so many beautiful little angles and...
Yes, and lockdown was a marvellous time to be able to explore it.
Totally. Were you a cyclist before lockdown?
Yeah, I've always cycled, but had phases where I didn't do so much of it. And because the gallery is so close to home, it almost isn't worth cycling there. So I hadn't used my bike as much as normal, but now I'm really using it a lot.
So we met a few years ago when you were using your house on Calabria Road as a
Yes, you bought
a gallery.
A couple of works, didn't you? 2 by Sandy Sykes.
Yeah.
And one, or was it more than one, by Francis Burden?
Yeah.
Because you in particular were very obsessed by fonts?
Yeah, fonts I loved, and also I loved those patterns. I think it's the Sandy Sykes one that's the kind of fake wallpaper.
Yes.
I absolutely love that.
Good. Are they up at the moment?
That one is, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. But now you have a gallery on Essex Road.
Yes, I do, yeah. If someone had told me 20 years ago I'd be running a contemporary art gallery, I would have been very surprised.
Why?
Because most of my career's been in film and TV.
Has it?
Yeah. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. But the nice thing is, with the gallery, we've developed this annual programme of moving image work, which we commission 8 films every year, which are kind of loosely based around the theme of Essex Road.
I saw that project on one of your circular emails, yeah. That looks cool.
Yes, so, and actually running a gallery, and you'll relate to this because I think you've done some producing, is a very similar role to producing in film, because you're sort of like the interface between, well, it must be like managing as well.
Art and commerce.
Yeah. And the art and the audience.
Yeah.
And the artists and the audience.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's a sort of mix of practical work and conceptual.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking about how the process of making something and selling it to them is a kind of conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, it is, yes, definitely. A kind of a relationship.
Yeah. It's like the money part of it, because often artists are so sort of awkward about money, I think. And, I totally understand why. Feelings of, well, this is just my thing I made, really worth something,
Yes.
But really the money is just the sort of, it's just a part of the language of the conversation, really, in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, for me, running the gallery has never so much been to do with making money, though making money is nice if you can do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And contemporary art to do that. But it is like the relationship you have with the artist. And I always sort of refer to the idea when you open a book and you start to read, and you very quickly know if you want to go on reading, don't you?
Yeah.
And it may not because it's an easy read, it might be quite challenging, but there's something about it that pulls you in, and that's what I've always looked for.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about even before then? Because people say don't judge a book by its cover, but actually you're not wrong to, specifically with books.
No.
With people maybe don't judge a book by its cover, but with books it probably makes sense to judge them by their covers to some extent.
Yes, but I suppose with art, mostly it's pretty visual, and so you're looking at something.
Yeah.
So you're kind of pulled in or not, somehow, I feel.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
is that how you find up your artists? How do you find them, or do they find you?
I guess I find them more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drawn in to art on a very sort of personal level, I think, as to whether I feel emotionally moved by it or not.
Yes.
I think it's just sort of that simple, really.
Yes.
And I can bring in some like critical thinking, maybe even some like knowledge-based thinking about art, but for the most part, it's just like, am I moved or not?
Yeah. Well, music is so visceral in a way. I mean, visceral's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Mumford and Sons, what's their most famous one? I Will
Wait.
I Will Wait. It's my go-to feel-good track on.
That's
so great.
nice.
Yeah, it's just got so much resonance.
Well, they've got that sense of euphoria is through a lot of their music, actually. It's almost like they're making sort of euphoric dance music, but with acoustic instruments. I think that's what I've often thought about them.
Yeah.
Probably what they think about themselves. So you still live on Calabria?
Yeah.
And how long have you lived here?
Oh wow, it's a shockingly long time now, because my son, I was pregnant of course when we moved in.
That's how it always
is. Now 24, so 25 years.
So where were you before that?
Well, not far away, in sort of just off Blackstock Road.
Okay.
In between Blackstock Road and Clissold, a road called Digby Crescent. And the reason why we bought this, when I was driving home, I used that bit of Calabria Road as kind of a cut, well, all of Calabria Road as a kind of cut through to get home if I was coming back from, say, the West End or something. And I used to think, that road's really got something, because it's an old row of shops.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great to live there? And I used to look at the corner one, which is a shop, but up above it had a big, probably a quite big flats with a flat roof. So I thought, that would be nice. Anyway, one day I was driving down. Shall we go into Aberdeen Park? Should we go that way? And I saw a for sale sign, and I quickly went into action. And I told Mark, and he said, shall we go and see it? And I said, yeah, we are at 11 o'clock. And we hadn't we had our own house in Digby Crescent, hadn't put it on the market or anything, but we saw the property, which was a very dull, it was like being converted into offices.
Okay.
Sometime in the 70s, I think, so it was kind of needed a bit of imagination to see what it could be. And anyway, we went, saw it, we went somewhere and had a coffee or whatever. And then it's pre-mobile phone, so we went to a phone box somewhere on Highbury Fields and made an offer. And then we had to kind of quickly try and sell our house.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it all took a bit longer than could have done, but it worked out in the end.
Fantastic. So you were just about to give birth, were you?
No.
But you were pregnant.
But I must have been in the very early days of being pregnant, yeah.
Where was your son born?
At the Whittington.
At the Whit.
Yeah, I was trying to have a home birth, and I don't know if you remember, but there was an ambulance station on the corner of Calabria Road.
I don't remember that.
No, it's before those houses opposite us were built.
Oh, okay. Well, that was an ambulance station, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we bought our house, right opposite there was a huge scaffolding yard, so there was nothing opposite, so I had a very open outlook.
Oh, I remember that, I think.
Yeah, and someone said we looked into it because Mark's likes to research everything. And we were told that, no, that land can't be built on because there's a railway underneath. But of course, technology moves on, and
Yeah.
they put a great big slab.
Huh.
Anyway, we had to call an ambulance in the end. Nothing was kind of going wrong. It was just taking so long. The midwife said, "I think you should go to hospital."
Yeah.
And the ambulance driver said, "Oh, we've never ever been so near a call out."
That's amazing.
Yes.
We had the same experience with our first son. Lucy would probably have to tell the story, but yeah, she was labouring for ages, hoping to have a home birth. I'd actually, very stupidly, on reflection, had put the birthing pool in what was going to be his bedroom on the first floor, and left it, and was counting contractions and sort of trying to find something useful to do, and forgot about the pool that I was filling up, and didn't realise that there was a problem until water started coming through the ceiling into the kitchen.
It's not what you want when you're about to give birth.
Yeah, she wasn't really dilating, so we ended up going to the Whittington, where he was eventually born. But we did have the second one at home.
Oh, good.
Which is good.
That's nice.
Yeah.
In
Barbeck Road,
Barbeck,
where we used to live. Yeah.
Yes. So you're like Tessa. You've followed her path.
Yeah. Well, that was her house, obviously.
That was her house.
On Barbeck, and then she was the one that told us about the house on Highbury Hill. She was quite generous to do so. I get the feeling that it was because we saw a house on Highbury Hill before it went on the market, and there were 7 other potential buyers seeing it the same day before it had even gone on the market.
Oh God!
So I think it was one of those ones where it was all about word of mouth, you know.
Yeah.
So I sense Tessa gave us a real leg up.
Oh, nice. And then so you had to sell your house pretty quick then.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that went fine.
Good.
Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah. And how do you find, what's the difference between living in Highbury Hill and Balbec?
Barbeck was a house on the corner, and Tessa had made it a place where people dropped in. Yeah. And we'd sort of kept that going, and we felt part of that little community there. Yeah. Calabria, Gallia, Fergus, Liberia, Forsker Street. That felt like
helped by the school thing.
Yeah, of course, meeting loads of people through the school was great.
Yeah.
But those little streets there really are a neighbourhood.
Yes.
And you know, one of the reasons for doing this project is that I've found myself on a Thursday night clapping for carers and feeling like I don't know the people that live on my road. Even people right opposite me I don't know.
Right.
And I didn't feel good about that. So yeah, I started with my neighbours next door to me, and I've asked each of them to recommend the next person as they go along.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
I've loved it actually.
Yes. Well, yeah, the clapping for carers has really changed things, hasn't it?
Yeah. Have you found a new connection to any sort of old friends or new neighbours, or
some of the people that live in the houses opposite us, we know most of the people on our side of the road, not all well, but we know them to say hello to, but we've never fully kind of broached the gap between us and the houses across the road. So that's been helpful.
Yeah.
I've got to know more people that way. But in a funny way, I've slightly regretted that we're on this short bit for the clapping, just because I always think, oh, what's it like down the rest of Calabria Road where there's far more people?
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. Where were you before Balbec?
I lived in Kiver Road, which is near Archway.
Oh, right, okay.
But before that I lived in Battledine Road.
Ah.
And when I first moved to London, well actually I was in halls of residence for a bit in Bloomsbury, but then I moved into a flat in Battledine Road 24 years ago, whatever.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I've always lived in Highbury.
Yeah. And where did you grow up, Paddy?
Mostly in North Yorkshire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think that this is like, I suppose that's the other reflection that I've been having, is not just in lockdown, but generally over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been thinking this is the first time I've really felt like I belong to a community in Highbury. And I've really relished that, you know, feeling like I know the shop owners. And
yes, well, you've now, because of your office, got to foot into camps a bit.
Yeah.
But where's your office?
I'll show you if you want, if we have time.
Yeah.
It's just on Corsica Street, so
Right.
it's kind of on the way somewhere. They're working on it at the moment. But it's in that kind of modernist building.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Should be pretty good. So are you a London person, born and bred?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, definitely. We grew up in West London,
Okay.
round about Notting Hill and Portobello. In fact, we're one of our cycle rides. As we're getting fitter, we're going further and further.
Yeah.
So we went to Notting Hill Gate the other night and looked at our old house. We had 2-3 years in Brighton, but when I was about 9. But other than that, we were always in London.
Right.
So yeah, and sorry to keep harping on about the bikeways, but they've been fascinating because
No, go on.
because I've realised I know London far better than Mark, and then you realise why is because my work's always kind of been more diverse in terms of geographically speaking.
Right.
It's always been in London, so there's this is the, what did you call them?
Pea shooter. This is exciting. Love this. I love these mysterious, funny little,
Yes.
kind of hidden away
Yes.
pathways and corners.
It
It's
can
so
either go
good.
that way or that way. They both
I'm
end
easy.
up in the same.
What do you prefer?
Well, let's go this way because
Okay.
I tend to more go that way. Yeah, so just, I've always been a freelance so I've worked in loads of different places, running the gallery. I'm always doing studio visits or going to other galleries. So your whole history is kind of geographically laid out, which has been fun. So again, I'm not sure where this goes actually.
Shall we see?
Let's have a look. To the
To there.
flats.
And nowhere.
Oh, dead end.
But you have to look. This is what I keep saying to my
Yeah.
children. Just look,
Yeah.
see, because you never know. Sometimes it's a dead end. Sometimes it's an interesting.
Yeah. Well,
new
again, that's
street.
the nice thing about either walking or cycling, that you can take time to look at things properly.
Definitely. Well, I have to say, I'm totally with you on the cycling thing. I've just started. I mean, I used to commute a lot on a bicycle, which is fine, but not like super fun. But my brother-in-law, Lucy's brother, is a really keen, I might even say sort of intense cyclist, and he persuaded me to buy a proper road bike, and we've been doing
great.
some long rides together, which
Yeah.
has been
Ah,
absolutely
great.
brilliant. It's amazing how you get out to Barnet and just beyond, and you're in the
Ah,
countryside.
Oh, well, you have to tell me then, because we haven't done that really.
Oh,
We've
it's
been more
so nice.
focusing on. So I've never been down there. Do you want to try
Yeah, let's have a
it?
look.
But that obviously goes to.
You sort of hit Potter's Bar, and then beyond that it starts going into countryside.
And how do you get there?
You go up through Golders Green,
Ah,
and then Barnet, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
So what would you allow to get out to Barnet? A couple of hours? Or
No,
less than
no.
that?
To get to Potter's Bar takes about 45 minutes or an hour, something like that. And then you start to get into
Yeah.
countryside. Yeah. This is nice.
Yeah. So I wonder if you can get out that way as well.
Does that not lead back to where we just were?
Well, it might do. Yeah.
Let's go Highbury New Park and
Yeah.
round. Yeah, my brother-in-law Ed has been persuading me to go on longer
But does he
rides.
ride really fast?
He goes really fast. Yeah. He goes really fast, and I can't keep up, and he has to slow down for me. But still, I love it. It's
Yeah.
really fun. Really fun.
Yes.
We went to Chess Valley. Do you know that? Out in it's not
Yeah.
Chorleywood, near
Oh.
sort of Hertfordshire, Buckinghamshire border.
Oh, right.
It's beautiful.
Oh.
It's like that. I can cycle here.
Oh, wow.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Epping Forest, obviously. Cycled
wow.
out there. That's
Yes.
absolutely gorgeous.
Haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So how did you get to, what did you say? Chorleywood.
Chorleywood.
How did you get there?
Well, there's lots of different ways, but we went that same way, just kind of straight north and then
right.
branched off
Ah, okay.
westwards a bit.
Wow. Oh, this is opening up a whole new vista for me.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Once you get past the city streets, which, you know, any direction you go, it takes you about 45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour. But then once you're past them, it's like, oh my God,
Yes.
the countryside. You want to swing by Corsica?
Yeah,
Have a
sure.
quick look at the new
yeah,
office?
definitely. It's interesting what you said about pea shooters,
Yeah.
because I've always loved the thing where you get a little, as you were describing, a little break
Yeah.
in a pea shooter. And for me, it's always had this weird emotional resonance, and I couldn't work it out why. And then finally, I was actually walking, when I walked to work, I walked across Canterbury Road, and there's that little playground.
Yeah.
And to get into the playground from the right-hand side, there's one of those. Only one, not two, as there sometimes are. And it suddenly clicked, because I'm the fourth in a family of 5, and the elder 3 are a bit older than me. So I think possibly Mum used to take the others to school, and we'd say goodbye when they went into the school through one of those
Wow.
things. I don't know, I can't prove it obviously, but
Keep it up.
Oh, I did this Saturday.
it's that wind, wasn't it? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're so crispy.
They are crispy, aren't
Damn things.
Your front
Wow, look at this
garden
whole
looks
cool
lovely.
situation.
Oh yeah.
That's groovy, isn't it? I feel like we're in Venice or something.
Yes, definitely.
Very good.
It never ends though. It's
Keep up the good work. Yeah, there's something incredibly important about those places of transition, isn't there? Those kind of liminal, like from one to another, and it really like has a big impact on your emotional state. Just
Yes.
crossing a threshold, I think. It's kind of incredible. I often think about that as being like an important part of a show, for example. You know,
Yeah.
a gig.
Yes.
Like the moment you kind of cross the threshold, that's a moment that needs to be marked, and you need to feel that your state of being has changed when you've crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
It's really, that's
Yeah.
like part of the magic of gigs and theatre and
Yeah.
stuff, I think. Get yourself in a more receptive mood. Don't know if that happens when you cross the threshold into school.
Well, it's been interesting because unlike a lot of galleries, we haven't entirely shut down.
Yeah.
Because for reasons too hard to explain, I knew I couldn't do this particular show we've just finished later on. So we did it, we installed it just before lockdown, and then I thought initially we could do a by appointment only, but obviously when lockdown was pretty strict, we
Yeah.
didn't do that. I just said we're closed. We did a lot of online promulgation of the show, dissemination of the show. But then, you know, I thought, well, I could do a bit of appointment only, so we did. So a lot less people than normal have seen the show, but some people have seen it. And everybody said, oh, it's so amazing to be in a physical gallery, because a lot of, you know, there's been so much online stuff.
Yeah.
And they were just, well, for some people it was their first proper outing out. And yeah, everyone was just loving being in a physical space looking at art.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to reflect on how that's going to, what
Well,
this
with
will mean for
music,
different
yeah,
businesses
must-
as we
yeah.
open up. Yeah. I was thinking about like
For music.
it's huge music. For some reason, the one that was on my mind was like clothes shopping. How do you go to a clothes shop and not try on clothes?
That's what my girlfriends have been saying.
quite
I don't
understand.
fancy it. Yeah,
I
they,
don't really understand that.
no.
I suppose that is the benefit of a clothes shop. I mean, I don't really know. People seem to buy a lot of clothes online now, but I haven't quite made that leap. I just sort of feel like there's going to be so much admin having to send things back, and isn't it better to just go and try it on and buy it
Yeah.
right away? I don't know.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you have had a career in film,
Yeah.
in TV. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I was an assistant film editor for quite a long time,
Okay.
and also worked as a researcher, but basically started sort of self-funded, or raising money to make shorts. So I produced someone else's short on a kind of very low budget, but that did really well,
Oh, cool.
won prizes at the festival. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I could do it for myself.
Yeah.
And I did that,
Something that you wrote and directed?
I didn't write it. I had a very good writer, Tony Grisoni.
Oh yeah,
but
he's a great writer.
Similarly, it kind of opened a lot of doors. But I also made arts documentaries. I did a series for Channel 4 and the Arts Council called 5 Women Painters. And we did a book as well. So that was that's a project I was very proud of. And it kind of tied in art and, which I'd always been interested in with filmmaking. So yeah.
Where are you with it now?
Well, really only doing the Essex Road films.
Yeah.
But there is a project I'd like to go back to, because I did a lot of filming. It's actually, you'd be interested in it. It's called Music City.
Okay.
And it was filming certain bands, and I suppose we're talking about the early 90s. The one who's most well known is JME.
Oh yeah.
Boy better know.
Yeah.
So I've got all that footage. So I might go back and have a look at it soon and see if it amounts to anything.
That was someone else that I had. That was my second walk.
Oh, nice.
Kate. Yeah.
Kate.
She's an artist
Kate
actually.
Lee.
Do you know Kate Lee? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do, not very well. But funnily enough, she used to live in, well, you may know this, she used to live in the house that the Putlers lived in. And the Putlers now live next door to John Taylor.
Okay.
John and Viv, yeah.
I don't know that.
So there's all this.
So hang on a second, because it sounded like you just dropped some like majorly interesting information there. You've got a whole load of raw stuff that you filmed with JME
Yes.
back in the day,
Back in the day, yeah.
and you've not done anything with it yet.
No.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, well, in the autumn I'm planning to go up in the attic and find all the stuff, have a look.
Do you have a relationship with him still?
No, sadly, let it drop really, but I'm sure we could get in touch again. I think we've got a little bit of footage of Skepta as well at the ICA,
Yeah.
maybe.
Awesome.
Well, we'll see.
And their sister is a DJ now.
DJ,
Yeah.
yes.
She's great, Julie. A kind of absolutely royal family of music. They've done so much achievement between them.
Thinking about our children, because I don't know about you, but we lived in quite a few different houses and different places.
Yeah.
Not massively different
What
places.
you did as an adult
yeah,
or
no,
as a kid?
as a child.
Yeah.
But my son has only ever lived
Yeah.
in that house.
Yeah.
And your children have only lived in the 2 houses.
That's true, yeah.
So they're very tied to Highbury.
We were talking about doing a few little trips to the English countryside. We actually used to have a cottage in Suffolk when we sold it.
Nice.
And our older boy, Noah, who's 14, said to me the other day, he said, you know I'm not leaving London, don't you? I was like, it's all right, we're not moving to the countryside. We're staying in London, but we're thinking about doing a few little trips over the summer. He's like, only if my cousin Max can come.
That's nice.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're so, I mean, I grew up in the North Yorkshire countryside, so to me, you know, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. She grew up in kind of Richmond, Ham type area, and went to school in Hammersmith and stuff, so she's definitely like a city girl. But I grew up, like, for me, nature was my friend.
Yeah.
You know, it really was. Not to sound sad and lonely, but kind of my only friend when I was little, growing up in North Yorkshire. But so it's like, it's almost painful to me for my kids to not quite have that same feeling about it that I do. Lucy said that she didn't either as a kid, and now she's come to it. So
I think you do.
I think you do, right?
Yeah. It's a big, it's a great house because it's almost like a manor, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's very deceptive. I think it was built by the architect of all of these streets for himself to live in. And actually, as grand as it looks, it's really weird. It's all like triangles and strange shapes.
Yes.
It doesn't really have much of a garden, so.
No. So have you got a much bigger garden at Highbury Hill?
We have got a much bigger garden.
Yeah.
That was really what we got the house for. Lucy's really into gardening.
Yeah.
She's been doing a lot of growing as well.
Yes, nice. Well, so love the fact that you can get into town in 10 minutes almost, living near the Victoria line.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
so brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I get so. We have both lived in Highbury around the same amount of time, I guess.
Yeah.
You've been here, what, 25 years, did you say?
Yeah, 25 years.
I think I've been here 23,
Yes.
24. Yeah. Do you have a sense of the change? One of the things I've been wrestling with in these conversations is...
As long as John and John
As long as John and
it's
John
not
are
going to
still here,
change
yeah.
too much.
Yeah, may they never leave.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's changed, but not massively. Hi, you doing all
Is
right?
that a tan you've got there?
Yeah. In the
Nice.
garden all the time, really.
Lovely.
Nothing else to do, is there?
Oh, of course you're opening up. You're allowed to now.
Yeah, yeah. Life's got to go on.
Where's
Yeah.
John? Is he in there?
He's down the back there.
Oh, great.
Luke, see you folks later,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Briefly.
So, do you feel it has changed?
Yeah, I do. It's hard to separate your own experience from a place and trying to be objective about it, because in a sense I've just been living here, right? So
Yeah.
you know, who can say exactly, but it did feel like it went through a better patch, and it's now not in such a good patch anymore to me. Like,
In what sense?
in the sense of the kind of more of a divided community.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I first arrived, it was quite sort of, you know, remember I'm like a 20-year-old student, so it's like a completely different experience from the one I'm having now. It felt a bit sort of a little bit dangerous, a little bit kind of like edgy, but like, you know, very London, but cool, like a nice and, you know, in a sense of quite a mixed up society.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it kind of stopped feeling so dangerous and went through a phase of feeling quite sort of harmonious, and now it feels like it's gone back to feeling a bit kind of fraught again, and I feel like it's something to do with that. I don't know, that's what it feels like, but it's maybe sort of slightly reflects the governments that we've had.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does. And Brexit. Is this it?
This is it.
Great.
So this whole thing will be a glass kind of mirroring that sort of vibe.
Great.
Um,
And how much space have you got? Have you got the whole ground floor? Or?
Just the ground floor, yeah.
Fantastic.
Hi.
Oh, Adam, that's great.
It's gonna be cool, isn't it?
Yeah. What was it before?
It was Skyline Charity.
Yeah.
And before that, apparently, it was a pornographic magazine publisher.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Oh, it's really nice. So
Yes.
that's going to be
Yeah,
two
we
floors.
totally gutted this and
Yeah.
like started again from scratch. So we've had this big sort of thing made. That's going to be my office in there.
Yeah.
And that's, my sister runs my business. She's going to be in there.
Right. So it looks like it's coming on. Not too. How much longer? A few months.
I mean, they had to slow down so much, obviously. We had them keep working, but just one person at a time. Ski's been here the whole time, basically. But really happy to be working, I think. I don't know, it could be one of those ones where it all comes together quite quick.
Yeah.
The front glass bit's really the last major bit to do, and that's happening in the next couple of weeks. And then the rest is just kind of decorating. And
So were you able to buy it?
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. So it's just going to be a kind of safe base of operations
Yeah.
now. Don't have to worry too much about that side of things. You know.
Yeah.
There's actually only going to be like 10 of us in here to begin with, which is cool.
Yeah.
I realise I've got to sort of take you away from your home, but if you're willing, would you mind popping up to
You
ours?
said that would.
Yeah,
that
that'd be amazing.
Sure.
See you, gents.
See you later.
Have a good one.
Bye. How did you find the builders?
The builders, they did our house. The builders and the architect for our house were the same people that had done a friend's house in Hampstead,
Oh.
same team,
Yeah.
and we used them both for our house, and now we've used them for this too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're exceptionally good.
Right.
Really, really good. Yeah, it's been a really cool experience. I mean, we've overspent on both, and we went over on the time on both.
Well,
So I think
kind of goes with the
yeah,
territory.
it just
doesn't
doesn't it? I think if you go into projects like that and you've created the conditions whereby you're under incredible time constraint or terrible budget constraint, like you can't have both basically is the answer, then you're just going to create massive stress for yourself.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky that, I mean, our lease on this doesn't run out till December, so we're lucky that we don't have to rush out basically.
So did your house in Highbury Hill need a lot of work?
Yeah, we did the whole thing, top to bottom. Moved a whole load of walls around. And
Yeah. As you do.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't done it before, but it was quite an experience, and I suppose it felt a bit like the first time we'd been like real grown-ups, like doing it for real.
Yes.
Doing it and getting it to exactly how we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Rather than compromising.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
Lucy's got incredible taste and ideas, and she really ended up designing the house with a designer friend and did such a fantastic job.
Yes, well, I'm an interiors subscriber, so I saw it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm in this lovely position that I can just be kind of hopelessly proud because it's not my work. It's all Lucy's really. Rachel Chudley did the design. She's amazing, very talented young woman.
So what's Lucy working on at the moment?
She's really into embroidery. That's where she's putting a lot of her energies at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, isn't she a casting agent?
She was.
She was. She stopped. Oh.
Yeah. She stopped that a while ago.
Oh wow! I didn't know.
Yeah. She's somebody that spends a lot of time doing art, but doesn't have the courage to call herself an artist yet.
Yeah.
I think is probably the truth. She's really got friendly with this guy, Stuart Easton. Do you know him? Embroiderer.
No.
He's an embroiderer artist, and
Oh, it rings a bell.
he's really good.
Yeah.
He does. He did some classes at Ray Stitch, which was how she met
great.
him. He's really into folk art, sort of embroidering folk arts type stories.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love that sort of. I mean, I just love that sort of stuff. Symbolism, almost naive line drawing type stuff. I absolutely love it.
Oh well, Fran, who you bought work from.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been doing virtually all embroidery work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to have a look at some of that.
Yeah. Yes. So, where are your favourite local? I mean, do you go to any of the new restaurants, cafes, and stuff?
Yeah. Obviously to Kisawa and Maison Bleu, right there.
Yeah.
Kim and Chia.
Kim and Cheer.
Kim runs
Oh,
Maison
sorry.
Bleu
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Chia runs
Yes.
Kisawa.
Yes.
Two of the
Yeah. They're
loveliest
amazingly-
shop business owners around.
Yes, and very enterprising.
Yes. I don't know if you ever went to Primeur.
Well, we never did. We never got round to it. No, but I know all about it. Yeah.
Love Primeur.
Yeah.
Love their other restaurant down on
Yeah. I haven't
Highbury
been
Hill.
there either.
Weston's Laundry. Fantastic. I go to Trullo. I have a lot of work lunches in Trullo. Not a lot, but I mean, when I have a work lunch, I have it there.
Do you
That's
think
what I
they're
meant to say.
expanding? Because it
I
looks
don't
like
know.
they might have taken on the next door property.
It seems like they should, right?
Yeah.
If they can. I mean, it's just so hard for the restaurant business right now to, I would imagine, to be investing money. Sort of the opposite way around.
Yeah.
But I would think that a sort of slightly more upscale bar where you could get some wine or a cocktail or something
Yeah.
next door to Trullo would do really
that
well.
would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I would think so. What about you? What are you into?
Well, similar. It's a funny thing with, because in Upper Street there are so many restaurants, but
Yeah.
we don't tend to go to many because we've tried them and well, we haven't tried them all, but slightly disappointed, and we're a bit spoilt because we started going to Morrow.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. Anything else
Yeah.
is a little bit pales in it. And we also now go and sit at the bar where you can just have a
Yeah.
few things. You don't have to because it has got very expensive.
Yeah.
We go and sometimes have a cocktail and a bowl of soup.
Nice.
And then at the opposite end of the scale, we go to the Standard a lot on Holloway Road, Indian restaurant.
Okay.
All get a takeaway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever had takeaway from Jean Impression by Arsenal?
Oh, is that the?
Sichuan.
No, but I hear great things about it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I must try it.
Yeah, highly recommend.
And do you use Highbury Barn much?
We do for bits of shopping here and there,
Mm.
yeah. Five Boys is really good because they just have all of that sort of slightly alternative stuff,
Yeah.
which is helpful. I mean, De Mario's is great, yeah.
Yeah.
If I can sort of overcome my nervousness, I sometimes go into the fromagerie and like ask for some, kind of pitifully ask for some
Yeah.
cheese.
Yes. Yes, it's a bit intimidating.
What kind of cheese would you like, sir? I don't know. Cheese, just some cheese. I've made my life a little bit easier because I've stopped eating cow's milk, so
Oh, right.
now at least I can just reduce myself to goat and sheep.
Yeah. So have you got to know quite a few more people yet, or is it early
Yeah,
days?
quite a few. There are a few people that I knew anyway, but kind of dotted around. But this road really doesn't lend itself to being neighbourly,
No.
It's too sort of wide and big.
Yes.
I think it gets more friendly at the bottom end beyond Martineau Road, because
Yeah.
virtually all the traffic turns left on Martineau to go towards the Arsenal,
Yes.
and then it gets quieter down there.
I know a couple who live in the bit you just described.
Yeah.
Ian Taylor, he's an architect.
Oh yeah.
Do you know them?
No, but funnily
And
enough,
Lyndon, his wife, is a GP at Highbury, where I go, surgery in Highbury New Park.
okay. Oh, cool. So I'm thinking of these as being like little chains, and the chain that started with George Bromwyn, my next door neighbour, who's a great potter, by the way,
Ah,
really nice potter, is currently stopped with someone called Miriam, who's a French woman who lives down the hill, and she, I think, is trying to persuade Ian to go for a walk with me.
oh, good. Yeah.
I think.
I think he'll be a little reluctant, but if she can.
Well, she just
good.
said Ian, an architect, so I assume it has to be the
I
same
would
one.
have think. He's very, very esteemed architect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice man.
Very cool.
John knows a couple opposite them who's a photographer. Gary and
Oh, yeah.
Ruth.
Gary and Ruth, yeah, we know them from Canterbury School.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, they're great. Tessa we know. Our friends met Peter Rayburn, who's a composer,
Ah.
and Megan. They used to live, they just live opposite us, but they've temporarily moved to Los Angeles. They've been there for, I think, maybe about a year now. Hopefully they'll be back at some point.
Linda Miles, who's a film producer, she used to live flat down there somewhere, but I don't know if she still does. I'm sure Lucy would have heard of her.
Yeah, it's a good crew.
Yeah, and Viv, John's wife, was instrumental in getting all these trees planted, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Did not know that. We're actually having them round for a drink on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're good. They're
Yeah.
great.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, is this your
Sorry,
house?
this is
oh,
it, sorry.
Nice.
Do you want to see if the door's open?
Oh, and did you build that extension?
No, that was there.
Ah, nice.
She did her sculpture in there.
So you must have a lovely wide garden.
I'm going to show you it. You want to see it?
Yeah.